Hello everybody, thought I'd put a video on to see how we were all doing and with a catch up. As we know, I'm not very consistent with videos, I just do them when I can. If I'm honest, I don't really get much of a chance, so just thought I'd say hello, see how we all doing. And I went on the bike today in the winter and the rain because my my van has decided it wants to be a problem child. So I'm out here on the bike getting soaking wet going to work. So I just popped out to get a few little parts for the van. Sneaky little trip to thanks mate, thanks. Sneaky little trip to Tesco's so I can get some stuff for work tomorrow and for tonight. And I'd just thought I'd see what you all thought of winter riding. How many of you carry on riding through the winter? And how many you guys hang up your helmet and your gloves after the summer is over and get your bikes out then? I mean, I'm not really a fine weather rider or a wet weather rider. I'll ride more in the summer obviously because it's drier, but it doesn't mean I won't get the bike out in the winter if necessary. I'm not one of those people that's bothered by doing that. If I think it's quite a nice day or I just quite fancy getting on the bike and go for a ride, I'll go for a ride. But I understand it's not for everybody. Not everyone has a desire to put up with traffic and the slippy roads and leaves on the road and all diesel and oil and crap on the road. When it gets wet, it becomes really, really slippy, and that's not really a thing that any of us enjoy really. Because let's face it, none of us want to end up on the floor. Let's get through this traffic a little bit. It's slow moving today. It's getting to that time now on a Friday. Well, what day is it? No, it's not Friday, is it? It's getting to that time of day now when people are starting to kick out of their jobs or on their way to work and things like that as well, if they're doing an evening shift. So this town gets quite busy then in Shrewsbury. If you know it, you'll know. I mean, when I was younger, I used to ride my bike quite a lot. Well, all the time, in any weather. It didn't really bother me. I was quite young, quite stupid. Some people out on their bikes learning today, obviously practicing for their mods. Good luck to you. Good old fast track when I did my CBTs, but I actually did my full license in Chester with Ride Academy. Who, by the way, if you're listening, Ride Academy, Steve and John, everyone, thank you so much. You were amazing. I can't recommend Ride Academy in Chester enough, and I'm not trying to get this is not a plugged video. I'm not getting paid to say this, but they are absolutely amazing. As if you've been following my channel, you'll know that I had to redo my license due to the DVLA taking it from me, just because I renewed my license and they didn't put my entitlement on, and they wouldn't give it back without proof of it. And unfortunately, I didn't have it. I didn't have any copies of my license that showed it, which is a bit crap, but it happens a lot, as some of you guys have mentioned on previous videos. So it meant having to do my license again, and the Ride Academy were the boys to get me through it. They completely understood. They knew exactly how to help me and what I needed to change to get through, to make sure I was riding to the test standards. They didn't say there was actually anything overly wrong with my riding. It was, they could tell I've been riding a long time, but it was more doing the things I needed to do to pass the test more than my bad habits. But anyway, I digress. When I was younger, I used to ride all the time. I didn't even have a car. I favoured being on a bike. I had a license for a car, but I favoured the bike always. It wasn't until my job progressed and I was a dog handler I needed a vehicle, but till then I rode all the way through the winter. Ice, snow, whatever, and I was working nights as well, so probably the worst time to be on the road in the morning, coming home at 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning with it icy was, a 10-minute trip used to take me, a good 45 minutes to an hour just to get back safely, just because it was so slippy. This roundabout's awful in the wet. So slippy. But I did whatever I had to do to get home. So if it took me an hour, it took me 2 hours. That was what it would take. But I was in no rush to hurt myself. It's just I enjoyed the bike and I favoured the bike. Some might say I was stupid for just carrying on riding in the winter. I've got to have my visor up because I can't see nothing with the rain. So if it's a bit windy, I apologise. Hopefully it should be not too bad with the mic behind here. But yeah, I was always out and about. You couldn't stop me. And at the time, the bikes I rode, they were in, road enduro, 80s, early 2000s or late 90s road trials bikes like Honda MTX and Kawasaki KMX, things like that. So for me, where I live, and in the winter, they were absolutely perfect. If it snowed, those tyres just dug straight through the snow. It was great. Especially my MTX, that bike just got everywhere, regardless of the weather. It never let me down. It always kept me on my feet, on the bike. It never showed up. So it was a great little bike, and I'm still trying to find mine. A lot of crap on the road today. But I'm kind of probably now going to, my Veradero is going to a new home, my little one, and I shall be at some point hopefully go out and buy another MTX, but I'm looking for the 200 version this time, because it's not overly that much more powerful than the 125, but I would just like to step up. I got my license, why not? It's essentially the same bike, nothing much difference other than a little bit more bigger bore. Most of it is identical. So why not just enjoy that little bit of extra power and get my bike back. Now when I do buy one, the plan is I have an idea in mind. If any of you have watched a channel on Facebook or TikTok called Serrano Racing, you'll know he did a very nice white and kind of purpley pink coloured DT. Now I'm not necessarily going for the same colours, but the idea of turning it into maybe something a little bit special, a little bit different than the standard colours, but keeping that authenticity of the bike is probably where I'm going to go with it. I'm going to enjoy it for a little bit if I can find one that's already on the road, and then get my time with it and just enjoy being on it again. And then she will be coming off the road for a full strip down, a full rebuild, new nuts, new bolts, new everything, and a complete tidy up, and put her into something a little bit special. And try and almost modernise a lot of the things as well, modernise the look, with keeping in kind of the authenticity of it. A lot of new bikes now have clear lenses. I found a company that makes clear lenses for them and things like that for the indicators, and different rear lights that are a bit more modern, and just kind of keep it the same but modernise it a bit. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, guys, what do you think of winter riding? As you can see where I am, the roads are not too bad. It's when you're here, it's as you go further down, and then it starts to be a bit of a mess. Quite muddy, quite slippy. Like I'm doing the speed limit now, quite comfortably. It's not too bad. But it's as you get closer to, home, it's a little bit crappy. What gear do you favour in the winter? Like I've got the jacket I'm wearing now, I'll be honest, it was cheap. It was a J&S jacket, it was 60 quid in a sale, and I've got to be honest, it's bloody brilliant. It's bloody brilliant, honestly. It's completely waterproof, it's never let me down at all, and I've been in some really heavy rain and downpours in this thing, and never once has it's come through. Now I believe, if I'm right in saying that J&S They collaborated with Frank Thomas, I think. If I'm wrong, correct me. I'm not 100% sure on that one, but I'm pretty sure that's what they are. And I know Frank Thomas is deemed quite a cheaper brand, but I've had a lot of Frank Thomas stuff over the years, and I'll be honest, I quite like it. It's never done anything wrong for me, so I quite like the stuff. But yeah, this jacket, brilliant. I mean, I was out was it last year? No, a couple of years ago, on a bike, and I stopped at Bala Lake in this kind of weather, if not worse, to meet with a friend. And there was a guy that had just bought a motorcycle jacket and trousers from Motorcycle Live, and he was out basically testing it before the season comes to see how waterproof it was. And he rode kind of the same distance I rode, about an hour away from it, and he was absolutely soaked through. And he came over to ask, kind of, what gear am I wearing? And I said, I'm just wearing this cheap J&S jacket, but it's absolutely bone dry. I'm waterproof. I've not got any water leaking through it. It is literally, I'm bone dry underneath. If anything, I'm too warm. And this doesn't have a liner in it. It just has the outer jacket. And it's a Cordura jacket, and it's bloody brilliant. I cannot recommend these enough. I did try and go back and get a smaller size, because this size I bought at the time was the size that fit me. I need a slightly smaller size now. So it's a bit puffy and a bit big on me. So I need to find something a bit smaller that fits nicer. But I wanted to find another one of these jackets, and they didn't have one when I went back to get another one in a small size, which I'm absolutely gutted about, because I really can't recommend these things enough. So my jacket's great. I've got Oxford Stormforce waterproof trousers. I'm not actually wearing those right now. I'm wearing Richter Cordura ones. Because when I left the house, it wasn't actually raining. It was a bit, a bit wet on the road, but it wasn't raining. And these are not even slightly waterproof. These are absolutely toast, these things. They're quite old. But my Oxford Stormforce trousers, they're great. They're not lined or anything. They're just fully waterproof. And they've never come through, not once. Always kept me dry. In fact, I get a bit sweaty in the legs when wearing them, because obviously there's no airflow through them. It's just complete water tightness. So yeah, I'd highly recommend those as well. My gloves at the moment, I'm wearing RST summer gloves, but I've got my heated grips on, and even these are warm enough as well. I've got hand guards on as well, so that stops a lot of the the wind chill on your hands, which is I'm really thankful for. And with the heated grips as well, I'm quite comfortable on my hands, and I could probably go, if I had to ride through the winter, I'm pretty sure I could ride through the winter with these gloves and my hand guards, and that was a bit rainbowy, and my heated grips on, and be quite comfortable. But yeah, so tell me about if you're still riding, and if you plan to ride through the winter. I will be out and about, absolutely for sure. There's no way I won't be. I need to do a few little maintenance jobs to this bike afterwards, because it's now been riding in the rain and the crap for a couple of days, because my van's been out of action. So that will need to be tidied up and all my chain done and what have you. But it's if I'm honest, it's quite a sure-footed little bike, and I'm enjoying actually being out in this weather in it. The little Varadero, as amazing as she was, and she rode all through the storms last year in the really bad weather with all the flooding, and she rode through that flooding as well. Brilliant bike. I can say this thing is actually a lot more comfortable to be out on in this kind of weather. It's actually really quite nice, this XL1000. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think. Leave your comments in the box below. Like and subscribe. I'm sorry I don't get content out too often, but as I say, I just do it as and when. If I had more time, I would do it a lot more often. But if I could just upload once in a while, I will try to. And till then, guys, I'll see you soon. Take care, everybody.